Hi everybody! Welcome back to the Pyramid Inn for Legends of the Seeker Weekly. And if you guys are probably thinking to yourselves, V, does this mean that you're coming back to YouTube after all this stuff? Listen, man, I didn't upload for tomorrow because of the whole Copa thing. So obviously I had to wait till December, but you know how it be. I got to come back. Me and Laura back at it again. This time though with storyline. And
Somewhat.
somewhat. And Laura, I gotta admit that you were right. By the time we got here, I would become a fan. I would like this. It
Yeah, it even gets better in season 2.
Yeah, but let us first talk about episode 7, named what again?
Identity.
Identity, where this episode is mostly focused around. Well, if you guys remember the trope of the prince and the pauper thing, it's sort of like that, but with a twist.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's this seer witch, I don't know what to classify this woman as, that sees the future where our good old shirtless buddy, Richard Cypher, you know he's the protagonist because abs, is brutally killed in a vision of the future, but this seer witch thing is like, I want to prevent the future. So she instead tries to make sure that Richard and his party not go to this city with a name that I can't pronounce.
I don't remember the name either.
Like, I can remember it, but I can't pronounce it, so I'm like, screw it. So, at the
Yes.
same time, they're trying to meet up with one of Kaylin's friends that is part of the resistance that's been getting information from the Daharans, yes.
The Harns.
And shock of all shocks, he has a son that wants to be like the Seeker. In fact, he wants to be the Seeker. And
He even knows more information than the actual Seeker does.
he and Richard have a banter of, I wish I had your life. I wish I had your life. And then the seer witch thing, after trying to warn Richard, not in her alluring younger form that people would probably listen to, just like, I will listen to whatever you say, beautiful woman that would probably kill me. Instead, she pulled the whole, I'm an old hag, I know things, get away from me, creep, I can't believe what you fucking said.
You're like, I wouldn't believe the stranger if I were him, so.
I mean, it's basically like Beauty and the Beast from Disney, except a
There's
lot
no
worse.
Well, that too.
So they're just trying to get prepared to do whatever, and then the seer witch person's prophecies start coming to fruition, and then everyone's kind of scared. Although Zed, the crackhead that he is like, I don't know, fam. Something about this don't seem right. Let's still go about this though, but let's be cautious all the same.
It didn't seem that they were that cautious.
And at the same time, though, the seer witch person goes to see the merchant's son and is like, hey, you want to be the seeker? Yeah! You want to have freedom? Yeah! You want to be Richard Cypher? What? Done!
She even asked him. She just made it happen. Like, okay. He's like, okay, I'll go along with it.
And so afterwards, thanks to magic, well, I guess it's less Prince and the Pauper and more Freaky Friday.
Honestly, it is.
To where it's like, Richard Cypher is himself, but everyone sees him as the merchant. And then they see him as the merchant's son. And the merchant's son, they see as Richard. And so, hijinks ensues, where Richard is technically married!
That was interesting.
Like, I think the show just kind of glosses over the fact that Richard is married and no one wants to question this. It's like, huh. This lady is married to the Seeker. Is anyone going to address this later on? No? Okay.
Nope, we just leave it alone.
I guess we just gonna go along with this for whatever reason. Okay. And the merchant's son, after impressing Zed and Kay, they're just like, oh my god, he knows a lot of things. Richard can read. It's like, no one found this suspicious that the man that did not want to read anything for like the last several episodes is able to read.
Yep. I would have found that very suspicious.
Like, no offense to the character. The actor played him very well, but the character, I'm like, Richard Cypher reading. Don't sound right.
It doesn't sound like him. This guy sounds too wise to be Richard. It's just so stupid.
Yeah. And so after an awkward thing of the merchant's son and Kaylin almost going to make out city, baby, we then also have to go to Richard Cypher and his now bride that no one will ever talk about again, just breaking out on their honeymoon. Like most people, they just have sex on their honeymoon. Richard Cypher breaks out of the bedroom to go save his friends.
Well, technically it's an arranged marriage, and that must be Richard, so can you blame him?
No, but I'm like, yeah, I could get down with this kind of wholesomeness about what you want to do. It's like, you just got married, Richard. What you gonna do? Save my friends.
Richard saved himself for Kaylin, okay?
And so, while he's doing that and getting stopped by the seer witch things people, we then have Kaylin drop this huge revelation of, I love you, but I can't be with you because my powers are always on, and if we ever were to have relations, I would kill you, and I don't want to kill you, but that's the whole thing. I'm in love with you, but I can never have you. And then the whole audience is like, say, what?
Actually, it's not, she wouldn't kill him, it's more like she would take over his body. Like, you know how she confesses people?
But that's basically killing him.
Oh, killing his soul, but not really him in general.
But that's still killing him.
No, because he's still alive. His soul's gone.
But that's killing him.
Okay, fine.
Anyway. So we have that revelation dropped on us where we're still with the whole say what face going on. And then we have Richard Cypher still with the whole magic-y face going on. People being like, oh, the merchant's son, put him in jail. It's his honeymoon, so we're going to go lenient on him for the Taharan-sanctioned execution thing. It's like, wouldn't Dark and Ral kind of frown on us interrupting this? No! It's his fucking honeymoon. We just put them in jail. But I mean, General, we got... No! It's their honeymoon! We just put them in jail. Now handcuff them to that pole!
After they were just handcuffed. They can't get a break.
Oh yeah, the wedding ceremony. I'm gonna gloss over how weird that is because I've already seen bits of Game of Thrones, so I'm just gonna not question marriages anymore.
Game of Thrones is worse.
Yes, it is. So, while Richard Cypher is getting all this set up, Kaylin and the merchant's son still don't want to really say the name because we only got a limited amount of time, people. They stumble into the camp that they need to get all the information from underneath the main tent. They just happen to find out what this main tent is located in the area for. I don't know how. We don't question it. And as soon as Kaylin's like, Richard, read this! He's like, I can't read. What? I can't read. Who are you and what have you done with my pseudo-boyfriend?
Yeah, because in the first episode he's able to read that language, but since he's not the seeker, he wasn't able to read the language.
So yeah, everybody gonna be like, this don't seem right. Where the real Rich at? Come on, son. Where he at though? And then out of nowhere, Lord Darkenrowls, that's still the stupidest name for an antagonist, just has his right-hand man burst into the tent at the most magical moment in time to be like, I'm gonna kill somebody. Couldn't we just talk about this? Nah. and almost kills the merchant's son, making the whole prophecy come to pass, when Richard is bursting like a hero, being like, I'm gonna save you. And he does.
Yeah.
And then we have a wrap-up story where Kaylin is going to try and confess her feelings to Richard. And then Richard gets a book, even though we know he's never going to read.
Nope.
And then
Most likely.
no. And then we find out about these 3 items.
Oh yeah, what were they called again?
I think the boxes.
Boxes of Orden. Boxes of Orden.
Boxes of Orden. And even about the seer witch thing being a acquaintance of Zed's.
Yeah, the boxes of Orden are very important. So, in this season.
Yeah, and the shocking revelation at the end of everything, not just the 3 boxes, not just the seer witch thing, not just that Richard is going to have a book to read. It's that apparently the end of Richard's life is of the one wearing white. And the only one in the show that we know that's wearing white is Kaylin.
Yep. Dun, dun, dun. I actually know what happens, but I can't say it because it's a spoiler. So nothing.
Oh, it's fine. But my whole thoughts on this episode, now that I've become a fan thanks to episode 6, is that this is pretty good progression in the story. I enjoyed where all the nuance narratives went, and I honestly found what they were trying to establish enjoyable. I do, but then I have my issues. Firstly, I don't really like a forced trope of like a Freaky Friday scenario mixed with Prince and the Pauper. Of like, I wish I could have your life, and then mix in Freaky Friday of like, oh my god, this isn't what I wanted!
Yeah, understandable. I mean, it was still a good episode. I'm glad they were able to actually put in some pointers, like, oh, this is going to happen eventually, like, going on with the storyline, but it's still technically another episode where it's not necessary, like, it's not, like, most of the episode's not really going to follow the storyline. It's just another random episode.
Yeah, and that's another thing, like, for all of the nuances that they've tried to do, I still felt like it was a little hollow in places. Like the whole wedding, like the whole wedding scene of when they were trying to have the whole Richard Cypher made it to look like the merchant's son is marrying this dead-eyed woman that doesn't want to be here. Now they're handcuffed. It's like, are we ever going to address this?
No.
Are we ever going to have a follow-up to this?
Mm-mm.
Are we ever going to have these characters return?
Nope.
So you leave open a lot of things that are unresolved for characters and events that will not have payoff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said before, Richard Cypher is technically married. It was not the merchant's son because now his legitimate wife in the Midlands by law and by religion is running off with another man.
Well, no one knows that, though. People think it was Griff, not Richard, so.
Well, we know that as the audience, but still kind of leaves a whole thing of you left a lot unanswered.
Yeah, that's
or
very true.
unresolved, as it were.
I guess it's just going to be another random episode that we cannot, strive. Go back to.
And another thing that kind of bothers me is the fact of this is just a me thing, honestly, but I'm kind of tired of the excusable things that they do about how come Dark and Rawl isn't as prevalent on screen as he is just an enigma that we've all seen already.
Yeah, I don't get why they did that in the first season. Honestly, I don't get why he was barely there, but he does show up more later on. I don't know why it's now though.
I can accept that if it's the payoff, but for right now, with it being a slow burn of like, he has this entire force that's everywhere. His right hand shall be in this one city or camp enclosure that we can't pronounce because, fuck it. He's going to be in this location with his aura, but he's not really there. It's really his presence. It's like, guys, you're setting this up as if he's like the end-all be-all demon figure than a wizard. You're not really giving us an antagonist, just an enigma more than an actual person.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, if you already gave us the face, then at least deliver something. Like, I don't know. Certain people still like to praise Harry Potter's book series for at least having Voldemort show up at least during the 4th year when Harry at least had a semblance of what's going on. And even in Merlin, if you guys haven't seen that whole entire retrospective, the playlist is in the description below. They've at least had the main antagonist in plain view for so long so that when it finally was revealed, you not only had your heart broken, but you saw the journey happen.
Yeah, true. We're still technically in the beginning, so...
Yeah, but again, this is a me thing, so that's my whole standpoint with Identity. It's a good episode. It has a lot of good story elements that will be payoff based, and a lot of good character elements that will be fleshed out a lot further on than if we were to have just a filler episode that had nothing of substance. But my problems still stand. I know Laura might have some issues with it that she didn't disclose to me, but that's just where I personally stand. Laura, where do you stand with this episode?
Like you said, it's another filler. I mean, I wasn't very, happy about this episode. Like, it was okay, in my opinion. Like, I still think they could have done more with it. Like, they could have actually done more of the storyline. I don't like fillers in general. And the identity, like I said, it's more of a Freaky Friday type of thing, and it's just like it's all over the place. Like, the only part I liked about it was when they actually revealed the boxes of Orden, because that's the main part of the storyline. So I like that, and I like that they revealed how Caitlin's gonna not kill Richard, betray Richard. So I think we got some more pointers for the future. But I would have been happier if they would have made an episode where it was more based on the storylines instead for just more random stuff that they usually do.
I concur. Well, guys, that's it for this one. And if y'all want me to apologize for not being around, trust me, for all the videos that I've got in the works for December, you should really not be on my dick. Please. I've got stuff in the works. Just calm the frick down. I got Mirage Reviews episodes I'm working on. I've got V-Draws videos on the way. I got opinions videos. I got editorials. Stop hounding me! And we'll be back with episode 8 named, what, Laura?
Dinner.
Dinner?
Yes.
Huh. That's a weird title name.
Yeah, it's pretty much about, actually, I'll tell you later.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week for dinner. Wait, that's a joke right there. Damn it!